Let's get to the keys to the match, brought to you by Ritz and Chips Ahoy, the official snacks of Canada soccer. And Kaylin, these keys come right from John Herdman with what he wants from his side in this game here tonight.
Yeah, speaking to John Herdman, the first key is nothing in behind the back four, so they need to be aware of long balls and through balls. The second key is stopping the switch. The Americans are so good at using their midfield to get the ball out wide and whip crosses in. And the last one is stop the rhythm of America. So they're going to high press and get at these Americans early.
It's been an interesting year for the US side as they have gone on throughout the last 12 months. They've used a lot of different players. Jill Ellis has experimented with a few different formations as she looks to build now towards the Women's World Cup in 2019. But over the last few games, they've gone back to that high press that the US is known for. They've won their last 6 matches in a row, scoring 24 goals along the way. So a huge test for Canada here tonight, under the lights at BC Place, and Ashley Lawrence with a header forward, and it drops down towards Christine Sinclair here, who just recently won the NWSL Championship with Portland Thorns, her second NWSL title. It is a Canadian team that is missing 2 or 3 key pieces because this match doesn't fall in a FIFA international window, so any of those players playing in Europe, well, most of them aren't here. One on the ball right now, Ashley Lawrence, is here. She was released very late by her club team, Paris Saint-Germain, and John Herdman said it was great credit to Ashley Lawrence for the fact that she fought so hard with her coach to be released for this game. And talking to Ashley Lawrence, there was nothing that was going to stop her being here tonight for this one.
And that's just how Ashley Lawrence is. She's a true Canadian. She's a gritty player, but she's also technically very, very, very good. And that's one thing she is going to bring to this game, being an outside back.
Chased down the right side here, as it was Deanne Rose trying to get there, but picked up here for the throw. Casey Short, knocked downfield by Becky Sauerbrunn. That goes off the head of Rebecca Quinn and through towards Steph Labbé. Canada have played 9 games prior to this one in this calendar year. They've won 6, lost 2 and tied 1, including a win to start the year off here at BC Place against Mexico back in February when they won by 3 goals to 2. Here's Jessie Fleming on halfway, out to the right for Ashley Lawrence. Down the line it goes. Tapia. As Deanne Rose was trying to link with Michelle Prince. Prince is playing as the most forward player centrally for Canada at the start of this game. What do you think John Herdman is looking for in this opening stage of this match tonight?
Yeah, especially against the American, the first 20 minutes, you just need to ride the attack of the Americans and really just not concede in these first 20 minutes of the match. But then win the ball like they are in the midfield right now, gain control, and then just settle on it.
This is Fleming. She plays it through towards Christine Sinclair. A nice move this from Canada, all the way out to the far side. And Becky will chase across there. Janine Becky with 18 goals. This is her 35th appearance for her country tonight. And then Alicia Chapman sliding in on the far side makes the challenge. This squad that John Herdman has put together has 6 teenagers on the roster, an average age of just over 23. 11 players from the 2016 bronze medal winning team, 2 from the 2012 bronze medal winning team, Sinclair and Scott. As Quinn looks long downfield to try and set Prince away, but it runs all the way through to Alyssa Nair, the goalkeeper for the United States. It goes out off Deanne Rose. And it'll be a throw for the US, a US side that played a couple of games against the Korea Republic last month. They won both of those games. Also beat New Zealand twice, and Japan and Brazil in their current winning run. This is Desiree Scott, all the way back towards Zadorsky. She looks long down that left side. It was over the top of Becky, and across goes Dahlkemper, who sends that one all the way back. Abby Dahlkemper, the North Carolina Courage player, the 2017 NWSL Defender of the Year. And of course, I think with the NWSL over the last few years, it's added another layer to this rivalry because a lot of these players are playing together on a very regular basis, sometimes teammates, often against each other on a week-to-week basis, and then now they come head-to-head playing for their countries.
It is. It's a different vibe and a different atmosphere. I mean, you go back in like a Christine Sinclair and she goes to Portland and there's 4 Americans on the team that are with the Portland Thorns. So it's just a different mindset, but I know that how Canadians are. They're very Canadian in the way they want to win, and they don't really care if they have teammates on the field as well.
Reno chasing forward here, but Rebecca Quinn is quickly across. The defender from Toronto, plays at Duke University, managed to get that one downfield. Good pressure there from Becky, forcing Sauerbrunn to go all the way back to the goalkeeper. Of course, for a long time, Hope Solo was the first-choice goalkeeper for the United States, but look at the keepers within this squad. It's Alyssa Nair playing tonight, Ashton Harris on the bench, and then they've got Campbell and French as well, who are part of this squad. There's a chance down the right side as the US come forward, and cross goes to Dorsky to get a foot in there as they were chasing forward with Lynn Williams down that right flank.
And this is the switch that I was talking about with the American. Becky Sauerbrunn picks her head up, finds Julia Ertz in the middle, and she hits that on her second touch out wide.
Towards the penalty area, and Fleming is across quickly to get that one away. Now picked up by Becky. Becky with a long ball forward sends Rose chasing down the right side. Sauerbrunn is back there. Rose will continue that chase. And a good distance on the clearance there from Alyssa Nair, Chicago Red Stars goalkeeper. Here's Quinn. Fires it forward, trying to pick out Becky, and Becky almost managed to get there. Nair had to be really quickly off the line.
And this is a great ball by Rebecca Quinn. She realizes the Americans are playing a little bit of a high line there. She gets her head up, plays the ball in behind, and with the front 3 of Canada, they're known for their pace, so it is a great ball by Rebecca Quinn.
Fleming over the top, down the right side. Rose battling for it, and it's put behind in the end there by the fullback Casey Shaw. This will be a first corner of the night for Canada. Do you think that's something John Herdman will have asked of his side in the early stages, to try and look long whenever possible to get in behind the back?
100%. You can tell Canada's playing a medium block right now, but when the opportunity arises, they're changing from a medium block into a high press, and once they pick it up, the first thought is in behind, catch the Americans sleeping.
Becky coming across to take this corner from the right side. Sinclair couldn't get there as it's headed away by the Americans, and they'll chase forward here. Lindsay Horan got a foot to that one, but Scott pushes it down the left side. Zadorsky still forward from the set piece, couldn't get there as it's cleared away by Dahlkemper, and it's into touch. Alicia Chapman will take this throw on the far side. Still trying to win that one back as it's given away by the Americans, and Becky from distance, it takes a deflection off Sauerbrunn, and it's behind for a second corner.
And this is a good idea from Becky. She gets her head up, she wants to take the shot. I would have loved to have seen Becky if she can just slip that ball in behind the defender and allow Rose to get on the end of it.
Good year for Janine Becky. Scored 3 goals against Costa Rica at BMO Field in Canada's last game. She got a couple here at BC Place against Mexico back in February. 6 goals in 9 games for Janine Becky this season. Although she's quick to say that it's all about the players she's playing with. Described it as the most unselfish team she's ever played on. And quickly across there was Alyssa Nair, and she just managed to make sure it didn't go behind for another corner. Scott. Now Fleming. Becky. Challenge comes in from Ertz. Julie Ertz, formerly known as Julie Johnston, and playing in a bit of a different role as well, having spent a lot of time further back. She's developed now into a midfielder.
She is, and I prefer her in the midfield. She's strong, she's powerful, she wins the aerial battles, and she's got the distribution. So for me, she's a perfect defensive midfielder.
Labe with a long ball downfield. This is flicked on for Prince to chase onto. In the end, it was good defending there by Kelly O'Hara. O'Hara, one of the veterans of this American team. She's playing at right back. She won the Olympic gold in 2012. She was part of the World Cup winning team in 2015, coming off the bench in the final. Sauerbrunn all the way back towards Listener. Minutes in here at BC Place. Canada has only won 3 times against the United States and never at home. Visible played down the left side, and Rapinoe getting on the end of it here. Rapinoe up against Quinn, goes for the back post, and it comes out off that post. The US going close to opening the scoring here at BC Place through Megan Rapinoe.
For me, this is Rebecca Quinn. She can't turn her back there. She needs to push Rapinoe outside, keep her going to the end line, and not allow her to get a little bit of a 2-second step on her. Again, this is just off the outside post. This is just a really lucky from Canada here.
Megan Rapinoe, the 32-year-old from California, making her 128th appearance for her country tonight. This is Sinclair. Sinclair once again. And now Christine Sinclair controls and goes for goal with the ambitious attempt from a long way out. Let's head downstairs. Karina, do you think John Herdman will be happy with what he's seen so far through 11 minutes?
I think he will be, apart from the shot that went off the post. You can hear from the sideline, everyone's saying good job, because they wanted to get the balls in behind, which they've been successful doing in. Janine Becky coming off the front, doing flicks. Offensive-wise, they've been happy, but I think defensive-wise, they don't want to give that opportunity like they just did a few minutes ago.
Get on the end of this one here. It was picked up well there by Prince, and now Rose down the right side. As the US managed to get the bodies back. Fleming trying to get there, but it's headed away by Casey Short. Looked inside by Christine Sinclair, and that one will run through towards Listener. Sinclair with 168 goals. This is appearance 260 for her, the 34-year-old from Burnaby, BC. Plenty of family and friends in the stands tonight for Christine Sinclair. Played forward by Sauerbrunn, who has the captain's armband on for the US. Now Rapinoe trying to slide that one through. This will be brought away down the left side for Canada. Becky was looking long. It's picked up here by Sinclair, who was first to react. Not too much by way of support, but it's Prince here. She'll have a run at the American back line, and well defended in the end by Sauerbrunn. Now it's Fleming. Support down the right from Ashley Lawrence, who loves to get forward from fullback. Lawrence with a good cross into the middle. And the Americans managed to get that one away. With the distance on the clearance. That's good play by Jessie Fleming there, up against Lindsay Horan. Nice play towards goal there by Rose, but straight to the keeper.
And here, this is great by Rose. She holds it up, allows Ashley Lawrence to, oh, she just misses it there.
Right side, here come the Americans, and it's pushed forward for Williams to chase onto, and that one right behind it did. The referee tonight is from Costa Rica, Marianela Araya Cruz, and this goes for a goal kick here for Canada. Canadian side that has lost just twice this year. Both defeats coming in the spring, 1-0 in the Algarve Cup in March against Spain, and they lost a friendly in Germany in April. It's the one draw against Portugal at the Algarve Cup. Apart from that, all wins for John Herdman's side. Mentioned that victory against Mexico. They've also beaten Denmark, Russia, Sweden, and then Costa Rica twice in Winnipeg and in Toronto back in June. O'Hara carrying this one forward. Put down by Morgan, should slide it through and couldn't link up there with Rapinoe, but the flag was up for offside anyway, so it'll be a free kick here for Canada.
And here it's just a turnover. Kelly O'Hara is driving at the back line. She sees Alex Morgan pop up the front. Alex is just patient here, tries to slip Rapinoe in behind, just offside.
Morgan with 5 goals in the last 5 games. She spent the first half of the year in France playing with Lyon. Got to the Champions League final with them. Had to come off with a hamstring injury early in that game, but they went on to win on penalties. Lyon, the club, of course, where Kadisha Buchanan is playing, and she's involved in Champions League action next week, which is why she wasn't released for this game, Kadisha Buchanan. Sophie Schmidt, who is playing in Germany with Frankfurt. They have a league game coming up this weekend against Wolfsburg. So Schmidt wasn't available. Shannon Wuller plays in Germany. Erin McLeod in Sweden with Rosengard. So some players not available for John Herdman, which has allowed him to go young, very young in his squad with some teenage debutants. It's a good move down the right side there by Deanne Rose. And the US get it away towards Megan Rapinoe here. Down the line, but into touch for a Canada throw. Good pressure from Canada to force the US to put that one out.
One thing that I love that Canada's doing right now is they're almost making it predictable. They're making US make these passes, and they're allowed to get 2-3 players around the ball and then regain the ball and start the attack again.
Rose in a tight situation manages to get that one back from Ashley Lawrence. Lawrence with the cross in from that right side where it's headed away only as far as Zadorsky. Foot in from Alex Morgan, and Williams will be fouled on the far side there by Shelina Zadorsky. That's maybe not a bad foul to give away there.
It's a great tactical foul by Shelina Zadorsky. She realizes she's gotten caught with the ball too high up the field. Tactical foul. It's just really smart from that defender.
It's a Sauerbrunn down the left side. Now short. She'll go all the way back. John Herdman talking in the build-up to this game about the fact there are lots of scars from matches against the US over the years. But now he feels his team has switched to a mindset where they can beat the big teams. They showed they could do it at the Olympics on the way to winning bronze in 2016. Desiree Scott trying to win it back, and that one will go behind. He says the young players have brought a really great energy to the squad, but also a technical competency. He's not scared to play the young players in the culture that they have around the team. He feels it's an environment where young players coming in, debutants, even players who, as Jordan Heitemer has talked about, are in awe of some of the players that are around them in that locker room, like Christine Sinclair. They can just thrive in the situation that's been created.
That's one thing John Herdman's done extremely well. He's created an environment where it's a safe environment, so you can go on the field and make mistakes, and that is okay, and that is a really important part for youth development.
Like down the line by Rapinoe. Now this is Quinn. Quinn with the long ball forward, and that will drop over the top of Dalkemper and through for Alyssa Nair. About the 4 keepers within the squad for the United States. Do you think they're all still fighting right now to try and get that #1 position?
Yeah, I definitely don't think Jill Ellis has made her decision on the #1 spot yet. So these games are very important for all 4 keepers.
Free kick on the far side there for a foul by Janine Becky. Send everybody forward here to try and get on the end of this one. Dalkemper will take it. select Americans. Dahlkemper long towards the box. Labe came, managed to get there at the second attempt, but she was fouled.
This is one thing that the Americans are extremely good at. It's set pieces. They have numerous players that are fantastic in the air. This is a great decision from Stephanie Labe. She comes off her line. She's brave. She's tall. She just doesn't grab it on the first one, but she's lucky enough she grabs it on the second one.
And as always, Karina, the goalkeepers get protection there.
Yeah, I mean, she came out strong. She got hit and she's down. And I think it's also a time for the team to come together and to actually regroup. From the sideline, I'm hearing a lot of good jobs. They're trying to get the pressure high, but here, Steph Labe's down. That's one of the perks, I guess, of being a goalkeeper, is that you get to actually get your breath. And I think she had a little bit of her wind knocked out of her. She came up with 2 feet. She'd probably want to come up with 1 foot next time. Went down, she collected the ball, but the perks about being a goalkeeper is you can actually grab your breath, and I think that's what's happening. And you can see in the sideline right now, the coaching staff's going over to Christine Sinclair, talking to her, making sure that the switch does not happen. That's what they keep yelling from the sideline. Do not make that switch happen around the back. So right now it's a great opportunity for them to regroup. The Americans are doing the same thing, but hopefully Steph Labe is okay.
We talked, Karina, a few moments ago about the 4 goalkeepers within this US squad. Do you feel that there is that fight going on right now in terms of who will be in goal for the United States in the 2019 Women's World Cup?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight. Holt Solo had the title for so long. They actually didn't give another goalkeeper a chance to step in and make that statement. We've got 4 great goalkeepers. They all had great seasons in the NWSL, and it's big games like this one to see what different keepers can do in this next series of the 2 games.
Alyssa Nair getting the chance tonight. She has 12 shutouts for her country. Steph Labe is back on her feet. Sabrina D'Angelo and Kaylin Sheridan are the 2 goalkeepers on the Canadian roster on the bench tonight. But we're midway through this first half here, and the US chasing forward down the left side with Lindsay Horan. And the challenge comes in from Zadorsky, who did well to put that one out for a corner.
And this is what I love from Canada. Desiree Scott, this is what she's known for. She's known as the destroyer. She gets into that tackle, the ball goes in behind, and again, Shelina Zadorsky, a sliding tackle, and that is what Canadians are about. We're aggressive and we're fighters.
Zadorsky, who plays for the Washington Spirit. And every minute this year of all 9 of Canada's games prior to today, Rapinoe into the front post. And it was defended well as Julie Ertz was rushing in at that front post. We talked about the new role for Julie Ertz recently, and she's taken advantage of it in goal scoring as well. 5 goals in the last 6 games for her as Rapinoe plays this one in, headed away by Christine Sinclair. Pressure put on there by Rose. Sauerbrunn steps forward coolly and calmly and goes out to the right side for O'Hara. She'll loft it long. There was a tumble on the edge of the box there, and Lindsay Horan wanted a penalty. Nothing given by the referee, who had a look but waved it away. And for everything that is talked about with Christine Sinclair and how much she's done and what her qualities have been, sometimes it gets overlooked what she does at the other end of the pitch, and we saw there she was the one back there heading it away.
That's one thing about Christine Sinclair that makes her world class is, yes, she's a goal-scoring machine, but defensively, she's so important to this team. Her aerial batter and the amount that she wins balls in the air, you don't see that from a lot of strikers. On set pieces, she's your main target for defensive set pieces. She's your main attacker for set pieces. So she's an all-around just class player.
There it's Michelle Prince, but in the end that one was played forward by the United States all the way towards Labe. 20 clean sheets for Labe. This is her 45th cap for her country, her 8th appearance of the year.
And one thing I like about Stephanie Labe is her distribution. She can put that ball on a dime, and that is what she's doing. She's picking out her fullbacks and allowing Ashley Lawrence to take that down there. Yes, she got fouled, but they got a free kick off of it.
Hurts him with the challenge, and then really strong tackle from Fleming, and then referee waves play on, as it was Prince making that last tackle on halfway. Back with O'Hara. Sinclair gets the block in. Flicked forward by Prince. She'll chase this, but Sauerbrunn coming across to cover quickly. Chapman in a collision there with Alex Morgan. And a free kick given the way of the United States. Alex Morgan, your former teammate in Orlando.
Yeah, one thing I really like about Alex is she realized she was kind of in a slump in the NWSL. She hadn't been scoring too many goals. So she decided to make the move to France, and it paid off. She came back to the NWSL, ended up scoring 9 goals in 12 games, and took her team to the playoffs.
Challenge in, and he goes out for a throw for the US on the far side. 25 minutes in here, no goals. Megan Rapinoe going closest for the United States, hitting the post, picked up here by Alex Morgan. Morgan with a good shot, but with one bounce it's safely through to Lave in goal. Alex Morgan creating that opportunity for herself there.
And Alex Morgan, she picks it up here. Desiree Scott just takes a heavy touch, but you're not going to score on Steph Levy from that distance.
John Herdman making his way down towards the bench. As he goes down the far side there with Williams. Out for a United States throw. John Herdman on the bench now. It's something that he tends to do most games, starting in the stands and then making his way down pitch side.
He watched the game from above. He likes to see what he can see tactically, because at the game level you can only see so much. And he's come down, he's talking with assistant coaches, and now he's just yelling, "Get up." Because exactly what he talked about earlier with us earlier this week is that he doesn't want the team to sit back. He's coming in, he's being that voice and making some tactical changes, because you do have a better view a little higher up than on the field.
4 clean sheets in the 9 games played so far this year. Canada has only failed to score twice. 0-0 right now at BC Place in front of a crowd that will be a record for the highest attended women's friendly in Vancouver. A record that was set back in February with just over 22,000 coming to see the win over Mexico. Morgan, now Rapinoe. This is Casey Short. Scott managed to get in there, and then Lawrence trying to get away. Picked up by Ertz. Some challenges starting to fly in here between these two rivals in Vancouver, as Rose tried to play it out to the left for Becky, but that was good recovering there by Lynn Williams.
Great recovery by Lynn Williams. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The American front three have so much pace, and that is just a great defensive effort from Lynn Williams on the side there.
Pino scored against Canada in that game at Old Trafford in 2012 in the Olympic semi-final in Manchester. It was crazy for me just going back through the notes and watching highlights from that game when it was that 4-3 win, the Sinclair hat-trick. Rapinoe got a couple, including one from the corner, one back, and then Morgan in the 120th minute. Must have been even stranger for you thinking about it when you were actually there playing in that game.
It's crazy. I mean, I've been seeing videos leading up to this massive game tonight, and it brings back so many emotions, but so many proud emotions, and so proud to be Canadian. And you see it here tonight. People are literally leaving their body on the line to make these big tackles because they're so proud to be Canadian. They're so proud to wear the Canadian jersey, and it shows here.
We'll talk more about that 2012 Olympics at halftime. A feature coming up, and Kaylin and Karina will give their memories of that tournament and especially that game against the United States. one of the most incredible games you're likely to see, and there are 2 or 3 players within this squad who said that that tournament and that game in particular was when they decided that they wanted to fully commit to trying to get on this team and be part of it. They were sitting at home, good at the game, but that was what really spurred them on to taking that next step and try to make it.
I think one thing that we did do in 2012 is we inspired a nation, and we inspired young girls to set goals and want to play for a Canadian women's national team. And I remember when I was younger watching the U19 World Championship, and I remember sitting watching that game, and I was like, I want to be the next Christine Sinclair. I wasn't, don't get me wrong, I'm not a goal scoring machine, but it's those passionate players that make you want to be one of them.
Canada about to make a change as this one comes in, headed up in the air by Quinn, and Labe able to punch it clear. And this was a predetermined change by John Herdman, which we'll go to Karina and hear about in just a few moments' time. But Alex Morgan trying to make her way through, and Alex Morgan opens the scoring here on the half hour to give the United States the lead.
This, for me, is just sloppy back four from Canada. What they need to do here is just put their foot through the ball, get it up. Steph Labe here, I think she can collect that and not punch that out. But the ball comes back in, the header's down central, comes back, it's a bouncing ball. And then Morgan, you can't leave Morgan in front of the net. She's going to put that away, and 1-0 USA.
After a decent first half an hour, Canada find themselves behind. Alex Morgan gets her 79th career goal. So here comes the change as Deanne Rose comes off and Adriana Leon comes on. Karina, this is something that John Herdman had talked about before the game as being a plan that he had in place.
He definitely had this plan in place, not after going a goal down, but Adriana Leon is coming in to settle the game. He kept saying Adriana Leon, settle the game. She brings an aggressive nature, but she's fantastic with the ball at her feet. And now instead of putting the ball behind, he wants to find the forwards at the feet. John talked about this tactical change because he wanted to do something different that they'd never done against Americans. Unfortunately, it's them down 1-0 so early in the game.
Scoring for the United States.
Sauerbrunn brings it forward here. Now Horan. Back it comes for Sauerbrunn. Dahlkemper. Out to the right for O'Hara. She's got support from Mewis. O'Hara cuts inside Leon with a challenge. And the first thing she ends up doing is getting a free kick given against her there.
And again, Leon, this is what I love about her. Yes, she's fantastic with the ball at her feet, but she is a gritty player.
Sinclair. Down the right side, it's Prince, as John Herdman not only has changed personnel, but he's changed the formation a little bit now.
He's gone into a 4-4-3, and the one thing that Adriana Leon brings is this ball to her feet. She's going to pick it up, and she just settles the game down. She brings a calmness to the game.
This is Lawrence down the right side. Lawrence going one way then the other, up against Short here, the American fullback. Really well done by Lawrence, and forces the clearance there from the US as Dahlkemper sends that one towards the corner flag.
And this is better from Ashley Lawrence. The first couple crosses she had in, it's in front of the defensive line. The last ball she had in, it's behind the defensive line. That's what you want to see from your fullbacks.
Fleming has a bit of space here, able to go across to the left side, and Zadorsky will look towards Sinclair. Ertz heads it away. Now it's picked up by Becky, who did well against Horan, but cleared by Julie Ertz. The space to the right, and Fleming can find Ashley Lawrence here. It's played all the way towards Sinclair. Leon at the back post brings it down. Sinclair still in the middle, as it's played in by Leon, straight to the goalkeeper. Positive though from Canada.
And this is what we were talking about with Adriana Leon. It's an instant impact from her. This is a great ball by Janine Becky. Ashley Lawrence settles on it, puts a quality cross in, back post, and Adriana Instead of knocking that back in, she takes her time, gets turned, faces up, and tries to strike it on net.
This is Becky with the ball over the top. Leon's through here. Adriana Leon couldn't get it past Nair, but Sinclair picks this one up, and then it's blocked away by O'Hara. Now driven in. And it's Becky with the shot. Scott forward down the right as Canada has the US on the ropes a little bit here. This one's played in towards the back post, and Nair was trying to get there as it came across from Michelle Prince. Canada's best spell of the game.
And this is great. Janine Becky settles, realizes that the back four are split, so she sends that in over the top. It's a great run by Adriana Leon. She splits the fullback and the center back. And this is what I'm talking about with Adriana Leon. She's been on for 4 minutes and she's already made an impact. They've had 5 quality goal-scoring chances.
Adriana Leon from King City, Ontario. It's her 4th substitute appearance of the year. First time she's been in the Canada squad since she was part of that Women's World Cup squad back in 2015. Scored a goal in the win over Costa Rica in Winnipeg. Here's Quinn. Push forward down the right for Lawrence. This is Fleming. Now Becky. Becky under pressure from Ertz, and Julie Ertz gives away the free kick there.
And tactically, I love what John Herdman's done here. He's moved Janine Becky from the wing and dropped her in as the number 10 and has moved Christine Sinclair to the number 9 role.
This is Quinn, stepping forward towards halfway. She was looking for the ball to Lawrence, but it was blocked by Rapinoe, and Jessie Fleming can play that one backwards. Jessie Fleming talking in the build-up to this game about how she's matured over the last few years. Talked about how different it is playing at this level to the NCAA. Says she's not the biggest player, so one of the big things for her is finding ways to find space, the awareness of what's around her, and also learning how to get the best out of her teammates as well. And that's something she feels she's much better at now than maybe she was a couple of years ago.
She's impressed me so much. I remember when she first came into the national team, she didn't say a lot. She was a woman of few words, and she's just really blossomed and grown. And I think her going to France has made her an all-around better player.
This one's played in towards the back post there. Chapman managed to head it away. And out it goes for a throw on the far side for the United States. Jessie Fleming in with a challenge on Morgan, and she gives away the free kick there. Jessie Fleming, not sure why that decision was given. She felt it was a fair challenge.
I'm not too sure about this call. Jessie Fleming, she goes in hard, she wins the ball first. Alex Morgan tumbles over her. I think it's just a pretty unfair call in a really dangerous spot.
So now, standing over this one, Lindsay Horan from a central position here as Steph Labbe lines up the wall. It looks as if it will be Horan to take it here. And it is, and Labbe has to tip it over. That's a really good save to make sure it stays 1-0.
This is fantastic by Stephanie Labbe. Lindsay Horan hits a perfect free kick, and Stephanie Labbe just tips that over the bar. What a save by Stephanie Labbe. That just shows that she's getting more and more gains and gaining more and more confidence.
And it comes from Rapinoe towards the back post, and that takes a touch on the way through off Williams and behind. As we head back downstairs, Karina LeBlanc is pitch side for us tonight. Good save there from a free kick situation as a former goalkeeper. What's going through your mind in those situations?
Well, first of all, you're trying to look over the wall. There's a lot of men or women in the wall. The ball's bent over. You just want to be set. Make sure you keep your eye on the ball and tip it over top. And that's exactly what Steph Labe did. She made the save. She should make that save, but it's a very hard save to make.
Lawrence with some space in front as Rapinoe manages to get back. Lawrence pushes that forward down the right side, but the flag will go up for offside here. And Michelle Prince.
And this is where Ashley Lawrence's game has changed. Usually she would hit that on the first time. She settles it, makes Rapinoe unsteady, puts that ball down corner. Yes, it is offside, but it's a good heads-up play by Ashley Lawrence.
Michelle Prince giving chase there. It's her 31st appearance for her country tonight, Michelle Prince, but only her 6th start for Canada. 6 goals for the 22-year-old from Ajax, Ontario, whose last goal came in February of 2016. Evan brings this one down. 5 minutes before half-time at BC Place as Rapinoe gets her foot in, and it's out for a Canada throw. Of course, that 2012 Olympics meeting is the most famous of the matches between these two countries. Rapinoe then had a shirt tug there as it was given away initially, and Lawrence was trying to make sure that Rapinoe couldn't get away.
And this is a smart heads-up play by Ashley Lawrence. She realizes she's held onto the ball too long. Rapinoe picks it up, and instead of Rapinoe running at the back line and having a shot on target, she just pulls the jersey. Yes, it's in a dangerous spot, but that could have ended a lot worse.
Rapinoe's so good, though, from these sorts of situations. In the NWSL with Seattle Reign. Played in 2 World Cups. Here's the right-footed delivery, and having built her up with that delivery from those sorts of situations, she knocks it straight out of play. The last meeting between the US and Canada was back in February of 2016, the Olympic qualifying championship for CONCACAF. It was a 2-0 win in Houston for the United States. Horan and Heath with the goals on that day. Tobin Heath actually part of the squad for this game, but she was pulled out of consideration a couple of days before the game. She had an ankle injury in the NWSL title game, missed the games last month against the Korea Republic, and really thought that she was okay to go, but after training the last few days, Tobin Heath had to pull out of this game.
And that's unfortunate for the American side. Tobin Heath is a world-class player. She's been up for Female Player of the Year. She's one of the main state players in the NWSL, and she just brings a lot to the American side.
Away by Quinn. Fleming brings it down here. Under pressure from Morgan, who is the goal scorer in this game. Good play from Jessie Fleming. And Christine Sinclair was first to it. Sinclair picks it up from Lawrence. Becky wanted it played early down the right side. Prince was there as well. Becky still putting the pressure on. Canada thought they'd got a throw there. In the end, a free kick was given the way of the United States. That ball was out of bounds. The clear cry from Janine Becky towards the assistant referee. Here's Mewis. Good pressure from Becky. Picked up by Desiree Scott here. Into the middle for Fleming. Scott. Now Sinclair. This is Leon. Leon has made a positive impact since coming on. Alicia Chapman at the byline does well to win the corner on the far side.
And I really like this from Canada. Usually playing the Americans, back in the day, we'd panic, we'd try to force things, and they realize here, they're in the final third, stay calm in the ball, pass the ball around, that creates gaps, slip it through, and Adriana Leon does what she does. She's skilled with the ball at her feet, slides it out wide, and they earn a quarter kick from it.
The referee just wanting to have a conversation there with Adriana Leon, who is standing right on the goalkeeper, Alyssa Nair. side towards the back post. Quinn climbs with a header, and it's over the bar from Rebecca Quinn. Quinn with 3 goals for her country. They all came in the same match in that Olympic qualifying when she scored a hat-trick against Guatemala. Just couldn't quite get over the ball there.
And it's a great ball in by Janine Becky. Back post, Rebecca Quinn's great in the air. She just needs to head that back across.
Alex Morgan flicks that one on. Megan Rapinoe will chase. Rapinoe actually leads the US in chances created in this calendar year. Good play from Rebecca Quinn there to get out of trouble under pressure. And Lawrence brings it up towards halfway. Lawrence, who scored against the Netherlands in the Women's World Cup in Montreal. And then unfortunately, the ball forward from Michelle Prince runs out of play.
And Rebecca Quinn has really impressed me. She's grown so much as a player. You can play her in the midfield, you can play her in the back line, and you can see her composure. And that's a midfielder composure. And she finds Ashley Lawrence on the sideline. And that's just really what you want from your center backs, to be composed, to be vocal, to be good aerially.
Zadorsky through for Fleming into 1 minute of time being added on at the end of the half here at BC Place. With the US leading by 1 goal to 0. Scored just after the half hour through Alex Morgan. But Canada have had lots of the ball since then. But apart from that 1 lapse on the goal, it's been a pretty decent showing so far.
I think Canada can be really proud of how they've shown, and that's what's so disappointing about that goal.
Becky from distance fires it well over the bar. She had plenty of space in front of her and options to right and left.
Yeah, I would have loved to see Janine Becky just settle a bit more, slip Prince on the outside, get quality balls or crosses into the box, and allow players like Christine Sinclair, like Adriana Leon to finish those chances.
It is half-time at BC Place, and it is the United States leading by 1 goal to 0, and Alex Morgan is the goal scorer. From what you saw in the first 45 minutes, is there a good chance that Canada can get back in the game here, Kaylin?
I think so. I've been so impressed by Canada. They're playing with confidence. They're keeping the ball on the ground since Adriana Leon's come in, and they're taking these Americans on 1v1, and you haven't seen that in the past. So if they continue to build off this, goals will come.
We're underway in this second 45 minutes. The first of 2 games between these sides over the course of 4 days. They will meet again at Avaya Stadium in San Jose on Sunday. And John Herdman likely to use more of his squad for that second game. He said he didn't want to throw in some of the debutants right off the bat because he wanted to make sure that they knew what this game was about from sitting on the touchline, and there's some interesting preparations for this game, including the fact that they trained here at BC Place with the full sound system on to try and replicate what it would be like on a game night for some of those players who haven't been in this situation before.
And that's one thing that John Herdman's done. He's made this environment a safe zone. So for these players, his goal this game was to have them on the bench, absorb the surroundings in a sold-out crowd, see how the Americans play, and so in the second leg, they can come on the field, have confidence, and not be scared to play against the #1 team in the world.
4 debutants on the roster, including Jade Riviere, Ariel Young, Julia Grosso, and Megan Kelly, who is actually from the US, but her father is from Toronto. She gets a call for the first time. Wait and see if we see any of those faces get their first cap in the second half. Leon down the left side, up against Dalkemper. Decent ball into that back post, and in the end it just goes behind. Ertz was able to hold off the challenge there on the far side of Becky.
And this is great from Canada. They get their head up from the back line. They find Adriana Leon on the outside. She's just so skillful. She brings this down on her first touch, gets her head up, quality cross in. That's behind the defender. I'd love to see Janine Becky just drive at that back post in order to get that shot on target.
Free kick here for Canada, who have played the US here at BC Place before. It was back in 2012 in the Olympic qualifying tournament. Canada and the US making it to the final. And the US winning 4-0 with a couple of goals for Alex Morgan on that night. Abby Wambach scoring 2, and Christine Sinclair finished as the top scorer in that Olympic qualifying tournament with 9 goals. Both of those teams qualifying for the Olympics from that tournament, making it to the final. Quinn, just a switch play, but it's cleared downfield by Kelly O'Hara. Becky. Support from Leon down the left side. She's done well to get in behind O'Hara. Dalkemper comes across. Leon into the box, and the challenge is good from O'Hara to put it out.
And this all starts from Janine Becky, her work ethic. She gets the ball, she sees that Adriana Leon is making a smart run. She's pulling that defender wide so she can cut in behind, takes it to the byline and earns a corner kick from it.
And it comes from Becky and all the way at the front post. Lawrence is forward, battling with Rapinoe, who gets it away towards halfway. Now Quinn. Blocked by Zadorsky. Shalina Zadorsky, part of the bronze medal winning team in 2016. Prince on the far side, battling there with Casey Short. Scrappy opening to the second half at BC Place, 4.5 minutes in. Ernst out to the right side for O'Hara. Williams with fancy footwork to get away from Alicia Chapman, who played every minute at the Women's World Cup in 2015 for Canada. Sinclair for Leon down the left side, closed down by Williams. That one goes off the back of O'Hara. The US managing to play their way out of trouble down the right side. Now it's Alex Morgan, turns it for Mewis. Samantha Mewis plays for North Carolina Courage in the NWSL. They were the Shield winners this season, as the best side during the regular season. And then Christine Sinclair's Portland 4-20 won the championship. Scott through the middle for Sinclair. The captain goes out to the left side here for Leon. Leon all the way to the back post. It's a chance for Becky. A great opportunity for Janine Becky. John Herdman wondered at half-time, where is the goal coming from? He challenged his players. Unfortunately, with that opportunity created, Becky couldn't hit the target.
And again, it's Adriana Leon. I know it sounds repetitive, I keep saying her name, but she's just been fantastic since coming in. She's putting in quality crosses here. Janine Becky does have time to take that down. I'd love to see her take that down and fire that on target.
Forward by Zadorsky. Prince giving chase. Sauerbrunn just has enough on that one to get it back to the goalkeeper. Sauerbrunn towards halfway. Now Rapinoe. Different personnel earlier on in the year. Jill Ellis talked of the fact they've had a very aggressive schedule this year. In fact, this is their 15th game of the year. They've used a lot of different players. They finished 4th in a 4-team tournament in March behind France, Germany and England. then runner-up at the Tournament of Nations in the summer, finishing behind Australia, who beat the US for the first time. All three of their defeats this year coming on home soil against Australia in July, and then France and England in March. And Jill Ellis, in fact, said in the build-up to this game that maybe they're a little behind Canada in terms of their preparation for the 2019 Women's World Cup, as John Herdman over the last couple of years has been looking at a changing of the guard, and that's something that Jill Ellis has been going through maybe this year, looking at what the best way to play is and which best personnel is to have in her new look US lineup.
And that's one thing John Herdman has done. In the past 2 years, he's slowly started to fizz out senior team players and bring in youth and allow them to get confidence and allow them to get minutes on the pitch, so they're not thrown into a 2019 World Cup with no experience. And that is Jill Ellis is starting to do it now. She's a little bit late, but she's realized it and recognized it, but they are coming off a 6-game winning streak now.
Jill Ellis in charge since 2014. The English-born coach was the FIFA Coach of the Year for women's soccer in 2015 after winning the World Cup here at BC Place. Rapinoe's ball inside, Mewis helps it on, and the flag is up for offside. The assistant referee put it down again. Williams, Chapman back there defending. She did well, and it wins the throw. Let's head downstairs to Karina.
Yes, Luke, as we know, John Herdman is an animated coach, and on the sideline, he's talking to them about getting the crosses in, as he did at halftime. He's very unhappy, though, with the fact that they're not getting on the end and putting the ball in the back of the net. Janine Becky on that last, he wanted her to do better. He had his hand over his head, disappointment, but he keeps saying, get the crosses in, get the crosses in, get the crosses in. He's happy with the crosses, but he wants the Canadian players to get on the end of that ball.
Positive thing from a Canadian perspective is, we touched on it at halftime with Ashley Lawrence down the right. We've seen it with Leon as well. They're getting in those positions to be able to get crosses into the box.
And that's one thing where Canada has changed. They've started to build confidence. They've started to have attacking fullbacks and have their wingers that aren't afraid to take on players that do play for the American team. So they've gained confidence there, and it's just so great to see.
Chapman down the left side here, with the cross into the middle. Header away, drops back down now for Jessie Fleming just outside the box, trying to link up with Leon, and then it's picked up by Lindsay Horan down the right side here. Horan scoring the winner for Christine Sinclair's Portland Thorns in the NWSL Championship game. She was named the MVP of that match. Here's Lawrence down the right side. Sinclair lets it run for Becky. She might have a crack at goal. What a strike from Becky, and tipped over by net. Canada getting closer here in the opening 10 minutes of the second half.
And this is the confidence I'm talking about with Canada. You wouldn't see this back in the day, a player taking a shot from this distance. Janine Becky gets her head up, has the confidence to strike that on target. It's a fantastic strike on target, but a great save.
So Becky goes across to take this one. 23-year-old Colorado born forward. Comes high towards the back post. Quinn is there with a free header, and Lawrence gets a foot in. Back from Rebecca Quinn, off the bar from Quinn. Then Sinclair, it's Leon, and it's in on the line. Christine Sinclair got the ball towards goal. Leon made sure, and Canada are level at BC Place.
From Canada, fantastic ball in. Quinn does a great job heading that back across goal. Bodies in the box. Ashley Lawrence keeps it alive, and then again off the bar by Janine Becky and Adriana Leon. I love to see her put this in the back of the net. She's added so much to this game. She's added so much excitement. So for her to get this goal is just great for self-confidence.
Adriana Leon comes off the bench, and she gets the goal that brings Canada back level. It's a 7th career goal for Adriana Leon. Her 2nd of the year after scoring against Costa Rica in Winnipeg back in June. And probably it's what Canada deserves right now, Kaylin.
I think so. I think in the first half they really showed what Canada is all about and how they've changed their formation, how they've changed the style of play. And I'm just so happy that they scored that goal because they genuinely deserved it. They've had so many chances and so many opportunities, but just weren't able to put it in the back of the net. So it's just great to see. We have a tied game here at BC Place, and it's just fantastic for the fans to witness this.
Well, there were a couple of opportunities in the build-up to the goal, including off the bar from Rebecca Quinn. And you see what it means to John Herdman. Now can they get another? Christine Sinclair climbing high there as it's brought down by Ertz. Played forward down the left side by Short. John Herdman has talked a lot in the build-up to this game as well about past games that they've played against the United States, and there have been some close-run games and a couple of draws in there as well recently. In fact, the last 10 matches between the two, there have been 2 draws and 4 one-goal wins for the United States. As Becky's got to get a yellow card here for the foul as Ertz went down. But he's talked about the ability of the United States to bring on world-class players off the bench, and how you look back at some of the games in the past and it always gets to the final 15-20 minutes, and that's when the US can manage to bring those players on, impact the game and get a goal.
They can. That's one thing that the US team does have. They have a bench that literally could start for any other national team. So, I mean, you can see Carly Lloyd warming up here, and the last time she played at this facility, she scored 3 goals in a World Cup final. So it just goes to show the depth that the Americans have.
Let's head back downstairs to Karina, and we talked a few minutes ago about John Herdman wanting to make sure there was some end product. He got it there.
Yeah, I mean, you watch him on the sideline. He's jumping, he's screaming, he's feeling in the zone, as John Herdman always does. But right now on this break, he went straight into the mindset of getting them settled down. And I heard him say they're going to use this to try to change the tempo of the game. We keep pushing, we use the crowd, we keep pushing.
Alex Morgan had given the United States the lead. Leon with the equaliser here as Morgan chases forward, and that one's into the side netting. Changes allowed. Canada has already made 1, with Leon coming on in the first half for Deanne Rose. A glimpse of the US bench a few moments ago. Carly Lloyd amongst the substitutes. This is Rebecca Quinn, who was influential in the build-up to that goal. Lawrence inside, now Desiree Scott. Leon goes down under the challenge of O'Hara, but Chapman might just keep this one in play. She has done. Chapman cuts inside here. Played in towards Leon. Back for Becky. Aaron up towards halfway. Mewis looks long. Samantha Mewis has really staked her claim over the past 12 months or so for a spot in this side. Player was a 2012 Under-20 World Cup winner, also in 2010. The U17 World Cup in 2008 alongside her sister. She's really taken her opportunity, Samantha Mewis.
She has. I really like Samantha Mewis as a midfielder. She's tall, she's athletic, she wins the aerial battles, and her distribution is world class.
Played forward here by Lawrence, and trying to get on the end of it, it's Nichelle Prince, who's done really well here. Sinclair on the edge of the box. Prince couldn't find her. But it's all Canada right now going forward here at BC Place.
And I love this by Canada. They haven't taken their foot off the gas pedal yet. They're continuing to play rather than sitting in a really low block and allowing the Americans to come at them. They're setting high presses. They're playing through the midfield. They're connecting with their front 3. And I would love to see Canada to continue to do this throughout the rest of the game.
On the far side. She's been so influential. Quinn now. Out to the left for Leon. Leon in towards Alicia Chapman here. Playing an advanced role right now. Chapman comes backwards for Fleming. Now Becky. Asking a lot of Lawrence, and she just can't quite get there. But Canada are looking really confident right now when they're going forward.
They do, and you know what? It's all stemming from not only the left side, but the right side as well through Ashley Lawrence, and then the left side with Adriana Leon. And it's smart plays. Instead of Adriana Leon taking that touch, she one-times it into Alicia Chapman. Alicia Chapman settles on it, and that is an outside back making a forward run. And this is just going to show how much Canada has changed throughout the years.
Carly Lloyd getting set to come in for the United States here. In fact, they're going to make a couple of changes. As Prince chases this one across to the far side. Becky wants it played early. She made the run to the front. O'Hara gets it away. Leon is close by. This will be cleared up towards Williams down the right. She'll cut inside on Chapman. Really entertaining end-to-end second half here at BC Place. As Williams has it and puts the cross in towards Morgan at the back post. Rapinoe chasing to try and keep it in. She can't. It's a goal kick. And here will come Carly Lloyd. The last time Carly Lloyd was on this pitch here at BC Place, it was one of the most dominant performances you are going to see from any player in any final, men's or women's, when Carly Lloyd scored a hat-trick against Japan in the Women's World Cup final.
She did, and she's just a really talented player. She brings experience, she brings leadership, she brings composure, but most importantly, she brings a goal-scoring ability. And I mean, you see here, having the confidence to take that shot from halfway in a World Cup final against Japan is world-class.
Carly Lloyd replacing Sam Mewis. Actually scored her first career hat-trick right here at BC Place back in 2012 in that Olympic qualifying tournament. She then captained the US in the Women's World Cup here. It's Rapinoe. Rapinoe! And saved by Libe. Rapinoe complaining about something to the referee there.
Ball here, Rapinoe picks it up, goes 1v1, takes a strike on net. Steph Lebe goes down a little bit early, but gets lucky, keeps her arm up and saves this ball.
Another couple of changes coming for Jill Ellis as Taylor Smith comes on, the fullback, to replace Casey Short. And the other change will see Kristen Press coming in, and she's going to replace Megan Rapinoe. So that was Rapinoe's last action of the game. Kristen Press, who had the scoring record at Stanford during her college career, won the Golden Boot during her time playing in Sweden in 2013. She's now been at the Chicago Red Stars since 2014, comes in for her 95th appearance for the United States. So 3 changes made now by Jill Ellis as she looks to try and get back in front in this game in the final quarter of the match. Change things for the United States right now.
I think bringing in a player like Carly Lloyd settles the game. I think they realized that Canada was all over them with pressure, with crosses into the box. So I think Carly Lloyd brings that experience and that calming presence in the midfield. With Christina Press up front, she is a goal-scoring machine. But what she also brings is she can pop up the front, and her foot skill is one of the top in the American League. She's confident, she's composed, and she's classy, and she allows the fullbacks to come up into the play.
Becky battling with Ertz, and she wins the free kick there. So let's head downstairs to Karina. One of the things that John Herdman did was make sure that his players were ready for a situation like this in the build-up to this game, Karina.
Yes, John Herdman spoke with us earlier this week about the fact that they had a training session and they turned the sound up. And he wanted them to get comfortably uncomfortable. Right around this time is when the U.S. changed the tempo and with the substitutions really start to put Canada in the back foot. So he wanted them to feel uncomfortable so that in this moment, exactly now when the substitutions come in, they know what it's like. And they can also use the 12th man of the Canadian fans to help them get going.
John Herdman talked about those world-class players coming in off the bench for the United States, and none more so than someone like Carly Lloyd, a two-time FIFA World Player of the Year, who's won 2 Olympic golds in her incredible career. And that hat-trick that we just saw there from Carly Lloyd against Japan was in the space of 16 minutes here. Sinclair's ball forward goes straight through towards net. Where jaw just dropped watching the game and how the US came out in that game against Japan, and how Carly Lloyd was just so incredible in that opening of the game.
You did. That game, it almost felt like a friendly, not a World Cup final, just because America was just so confident, and literally everything that they were shooting was going into the back of the net.
Of course, they have those memories as they arrive back here at BC Place for the first time. They're staying in the same hotel in Vancouver that they were in for that Women's World Cup, so to like for them as they make their trip back to Vancouver.
Do you want the attendance? Yeah.
Here's Fleming. Seems like Jessie Fleming has been around for so long, having made her debut at the age of 15. Years old, and this is already a 46th appearance for Canada, Jessie Fleming.
It's crazy to think, but someone like a Jessie Fleming is the future of Canada soccer. I believe she'll be the next captain of the Canadian team someday once Christine Sinclair decides to retire. I hope she never does, if I'm being completely honest. But Jessie Fleming plays like a 30-year-old. She's smart, she's got the vision and awareness, and she's got the skill.
She started every game this year for Canada, Jessie Fleming. Midfielder from London, Ontario. 20 minutes left to play as it comes in from Becky. And it's headed away. Only as far as Desiree Scott. Chapman with the ball forward. Up in the air by Dahlkemp, but then Lewis helps it on. Free kick given against Alicia Chapman there. In fact, it was Jessie Fleming who was penalised. Another change coming up here in a few moments' time. To see Megan Kelly coming in for her Canadian debut. And she's going to replace Nichelle Prince. So here comes the change. Megan Kelly, the 25-year-old born in Kansas City. Her father was born in Toronto. In fact, her sister was in the Canadian camp a few years ago. Kelly will come in for her Canadian debut. Kelly replacing Nichelle Prince, who started in a central role right up top for Canada. They changed things a little bit after Leon came on. Here is Leon driving straight towards the heart of the US back line. Leon goes for the top corner. She's certainly taken her chance tonight, Leon.
I love this about Leon. She's grown over the past year. I mean, she was so successful in the NWSL, but this is just the confidence she's gained in her pro season in Boston. She gets her head up. She has the confidence to take that shot on target. She shoots, and I just love to see that from Adriana Leon.
28,017, the attendance inside BC Place tonight, and they're enjoying what they're seeing so far. Canada tied 1-1 with the United States. The last time Canada managed to get a draw against the US was in the last friendly meeting between the two teams in Winnipeg in May of 2014. And Kanisha Buchanan scored on that day to give Canada the lead. All time for Canada against the was all the way back in 1986. And then 14 years later, they got another one in November of 2000, a 3-1 win in Columbus. Christine Sinclair and Charmaine Hooper with a couple of the goals. Savannah Bottini as well. And then the other one, the last time Canada beat the United States, was a 3-0 victory at the Algarve Cup back in March of 2001. Charmaine Hooper scored a couple. Christine Sinclair got one. And there was a goalkeeper called Karina LeBlanc who managed to get a clean sheet that day, the last time Canada beat the US.
We have a US.
Yes, I did. It was in Algarve in Portugal, and it was during the times of the WUSA, and there were some players around, and it definitely, getting a win here today for Canada would mean a lot to the program, because people don't even remember that time frame in life. But yeah, I was part of that lovely team that got the last win against Canada.
Andy Sullivan getting set to come in here, and she will replace Julie Ertz. One the score with 17 minutes left to play. Andy Sullivan making 16 appearances for Stanford this season.
Replaced by number 6, Andy Sullivan.
Sullivan having ACL surgery at the end of last year, so she's been on the comeback trail. Sullivan getting a foot to that one. Picked up here by Christine Sinclair. Now it's Desiree Scott. Leon. This is Fleming. Now Sinclair. Support from Chapman down the left side. Alicia Chapman. Too far in front of Christine Sinclair.
But still, I love the confidence of Canada. You're seeing it time and time again in the final third. They're calm, they're cool, they're collected. They're making 5-10-yard passes, moving America, finding gaps, splitting them, and it's allowing them to get quality crosses in.
Side sends Williams chasing up against Zadorsky, and Zadorsky with a lovely challenge there to put it out for a corner. It had to be perfectly timed because Williams was looking to skip inside along the byline. Williams, the NWSL MVP last year.
And these tackles are always scary to make as a central defender. It has to be perfectly timed. It's in a box. If you're a second late or a second early, that's a penalty kick. So that is fantastic defending by Selena Zurtowski.
And it comes from Dalkemper, and the header goes all the way back out to Dalkemper on this near side. It was Horan's header. Horan the target once again here. Comes all the way to the far side where it's driven in, and a chance here, saved by Labe. As Morgan got the shot towards goal. With an opportunity there to get back in front with 15 minutes left to go. It's a crossfield ball dealt with by Chapman initially, and then Becky trips as it's picked up here by Williams, all the way inside for Carly Lloyd. Canada forcing the US backwards here. Lloyd a bit short with the pass, and then a challenge there by Fleming. Let's go back to that chance for Alex Morgan.
And here, this crossing, it's just not cleared properly for me. So the ball comes back across. Becky, I find her sleeping there. She needs to get off of the goalkeeper line quicker. Alex Morgan would have been offside there.
Chapman down the left side. Leon brings it down. Now Fleming. Zadorsky with the ball forward, trying to find Sinclair here. Christine Sinclair looking to get on the end of it, up against Dalkemper. Sinclair's ball into the box. Dalkemper gets the block away. Now it's Ashley Lawrence. Fleming. steal by Williams. Zadorsky heads it back forward. Now Fleming knocked off the ball by Williams and gets a free kick from the Costa Rican referee, Marianela Ariay Cruz.
And here, Jessie Fleming, just being strong there, gets a foul, and this is in a great spot. Janine Becky, her distribution has improved over the years, so if she can get a quality ball into the box, have Canadians just swarming front post, middle, and back post, they have a great opportunity here.
Becky plays this one in towards that back post. Sinclair was climbing high, drops down towards Lawrence, and then cleared away by the United States. Last-ditch defending there to get it into touch. Chapman with the throw. 12 minutes left to be played. Sinclair battling to try and get there. Comes back out to Chapman on the left side. And then headed out by Taylor Smith, the substitute. Quickly taken in towards Leon. Now Lloyd, forward for Morgan. Zadorsky in with the challenge. Lloyd will look to bring it away. Fleming got a good foot to it. Kelly. Megan Kelly gets a yellow card just minutes into her Canada debut. And a free kick coming up here. O'Hara was coming forward down that left side. She's switched flanks now since the introduction of Taylor Smith.
Yellow card for Canada, number 20.
Towards the penalty spot. Sinclair got ahead to it. The flag up here for offside. And a free kick coming the way of Canada. 10 minutes away from getting something out of this game here, Canada.
One thing that's really impressed me with Canada is their defensive set pieces. We saw them working in training all week with it. It was something that was really important to them because the Americans are so good on attacking set pieces. So well done to Canada. Another great header by Christine Sinclair.
This is that period of the game, though, that John Herdman talked about and that we mentioned has been a problem for Canada against the United States in recent games. Although right now, Canada looking strong and looking as if they might be able to create an opening to get a goal themselves. Played forward by Zadorsky. Brought down by Fleming. Back for Quinn. Cool as anything from Rebecca Quinn to step aside, get past press. And now Lawrence has some space ahead of her. Lawrence in towards the box. Dal Kemper flicks it away. Leon brings it down and goes backwards for Chapman. Neat play down the left, but then Leon couldn't get by Taylor Smith. They do, though, get a throw here. Inside the final 10 minutes of play at BC Place in front of a record crowd for a women's friendly in Vancouver. Becky with a high ball in towards the edge of the box. Kelly turning, she gets the shot away, but straight at net. Golden Glove winner at the 2008 Under-20 World Cup in Chile. Won silver at the Pan Ams in 2007. She was on the Women's World Cup roster, but didn't see any action. They denied a 13th career shutout for the United States tonight by that goal from Adriana Leon. Gone in anyway from Christine Sinclair, but Leon was on the line there making sure.
And I do love that about Adriana Leon. She'll put her body on the line, whether it's in a tackle or whether to watch a ball go across that line. and it's just great to see the growth from her. I think, you know, she was left out of a few camps, obviously was a little bit hurt by it, but she didn't go, I deserve this, I deserve this. She went in her off season, she worked 10 times harder to get this call back into camp, and it is very well deserved.
She'll try and get it back here from O'Hara. Played forward for Morgan. Win with a good challenge. Leon chasing it down as Smith feeds it for Williams down the right side for the United States. That one will go into touch. Goes off Carly Lloyd. Simon Eady, the assistant coach, just deep in conversation with Jordan Heitemer, the 16-year-old from Chilliwack, BC. Looked as if she might be coming on. I wonder if they might hold off on that for the moment, though. Here's Kelly down the left side. Megan Kelly comes backwards for Leon. Into the middle, Sinclair couldn't get there. O'Hara heads it away. Desiree Scott with lots of space. The destroyer from Winnipeg through for Kelly. Megan Kelly on her debut off the post. So close to getting a winner for Canada.
I mean, what a debut for Megan Kelly. I mean, she's come in and she's made an impact. And for it being her first game for Canada, I am so impressed. I would have loved to see that go in. Her first cap for Canada and her first goal for Canada. But hopefully she has a little bit more in her. And again, this is great. She splits the outside defender and the center back, and she just stays there, takes a great first touch, tries to just play it around the keeper there. It's great from her.
The same post that Megan Rapinoe hit in the first half when it was still 0-0. Let's take a look at the 2 goals tonight in this one between Canada and the US, as Morgan is down, not for the first time tonight. It was Alex Morgan that scored the first goal in this game, just after the half-hour mark, after a positive start from Canada.
It was a positive start for Canada, so this is really unfortunate to see. Again, it's just sloppy defending. No one just puts their foot through it. And again, you can't leave Alex Morgan time and space in front of the net, or she's going to put it in the back of the net.
But Canada managed to find a goal to get back on level terms. First, Quinn was saved, and then Rebecca Quinn again off the bar, and eventually, after Sinclair was there, Leon knocks it in on the line.
And this is just great for Canada, and it's great for the fans. I mean, you can hear it here. The building's vibrant, the building's loud and cheering on Canada. You can see the substitutes on the sidelines throwing their hands up in the air that they want more from the fans. And this is what they need in this last 5 minutes.
The sort of thing I remember you doing, Karina, during the Women's World Cup.
Fans are a huge part of this game right now for the team. John Herdman looked at the bench and he said, get them going. And it's one of the things, when you're on the bench, you want to feel a part of the game, and this is how they've done it. They've literally gone to the stadium, putting their hands in the air, starting the cheer, because right now this is an important last few minutes of the game. Canada wants to get the win. They'll take the draw, but they definitely do not want to lose at home here tonight.
They probably feel that with this second half performance, this is their best chance to get a win against the United States in recent times. O'Hara out on the far side, gets the cross, and it's Carly Lloyd. She couldn't get there, and it's a goal kick.
And this is the experience that Kelly O'Hara brings. She sees this early ball in behind. Lloyd realizes that the back line doesn't get up it quick enough. She tries to get in behind. It's just a little bit overhead.
Megan Kelly coming off the bench and making an impact for Canada. She plays for FC Kansas City, her hometown team in the NWSL. She's also played in Finland and in Cyprus, and basically was emailing John Herdman for the better part of 2 years, asking him for a call up to the camp, and he kept replying, telling her what she needed to do differently or do better. One of the things was he wanted to see her play in the NWSL, and that's one of the reasons she came home and has been playing for FC Kansas City, and then she finally gets her first call-up. She's been waiting for this night for a long time, as Williams comes off. Another change made with Ali Long coming on for the United States. We are going to see Jordan Heitema coming in very shortly here for Canada. Ashley Lawrence from distance strikes straight towards net. This will be for Jordan Heitema, a teenager from Chilliwack, BC. She gets the chance to come on for the final couple of minutes in front of family and friends here in Vancouver. Chance here down the left side. Kristen Press cuts inside, cleared away. All the way towards halfway. Sinclair there is battered from behind by Sauerbrunn and gets the free kick here.
This is just two players going up for the ball. There's no ill intent by Becky Sauerbrunn. They're really good friends off the field. Christine Sinclair just takes a little bit of a knock to the back of her head, but it looks like she'll be fine.
Jordan Heitema will be coming in, scored a couple of goals against Costa Rica in a 6-0 win at BMO Field in June.
Okay, Canada sub.
Heading towards Christine Sinclair.
In 9 of 16.
Away by Taylor Smith inside the final 2 minutes. It's going to be Janine Becky coming out of this game with Jordan Heitema coming in. Karina.
You can hear the crowd here. She's a hometown girl, and she's stepping on the field. John Herdman is so excited about her because of her ability to finish. She's had some big goals for Canada so far this year. She's a young player, but her potential is massive. Her height, her tenacity, her ability to finish. And as John said, she has the mindset that you want to have someone up top. Crowd loves her. This is a moment for her.
Here's a chance though for Carly Lloyd down the left side. Desiree Scott is there to sweep things up. She's had a very effective game tonight for Canada. Desiree Scott, often what she does goes unnoticed, but you don't win games without a player like Desi Scott in there.
And you've said it. I mean, a player like Desiree Scott, you can't replace someone like that. She works tirelessly for 90 minutes of the match. She cleans up everyone else's messes. She's not someone that's going to, stand out and score goals, but she's going to make those 5, 10-yard passes to allow the back four to connect with the front three lines.
Heitema into the game then for the final 3 minutes of stoppage time here for Canada. She'll chase this one forward as it runs through towards Nair. Jordan Heitema, the third youngest player to play for Canada.
Oh, no. I thought you had it on you.
Behind Cara Lang and Jessie Fleming. She played against the US at youth level, so she knows about the rivalry, but this takes it up another few. Runs on the ladder. Played downfield for Heitema to chase onto here. Gets behind Sauerbrunn. Heitema waiting for support, finds Leon. Into space here down the right side. Rolled forward by Fleming. Kelly chasing. And that one will go out, should be a corner. The goal kick though actually is given. It must have gone off Kelly last. Well, whatever the outcome in this game, John Herdman will be pretty proud with what he's seen from his team here tonight against the #1 ranked side in the world.
100%. I think John Herdman can, really shows that all the work that they're putting in, both on and off the pitch, is really showing tonight. This is the #1 team in the world, and Canada isn't letting up. They're continuing to play. They're continuing to get the ball out wide to get quality crosses in. They're having their back line connect with their midfield. Usually you would see Canada, if they were tied at this point in the game, sit back, play a low block, allow America to come at them just to get the tie, and you can tell that they're going for the win.
Sinclair down the line, Leon chases. Be a different prospect for Canada as they head to the US on Sunday to San Jose for the second of these matches. Is there to be some late drama at BC Place? Here's Chapman. Comes back to Chapman once again. Now Now Sinclair, flicked away. Heitema will give chase to the far side, up against O'Hara. And a free kick given against Jordan Heitema there.
Biased, but I'm not sure I agree with this call. Kelly O'Hara comes over the back of Jordan Heitema. You can see that Jordan Heitema took a little bit of a knock and she's bleeding, so I don't agree with this call at all.
The final few seconds of this game. As Quinn clears it into touch on the far side. And the referee will just stop play here because Jordan Heitema, with that blood, will need to come across for some treatment. John Herdman just telling her to go down so that she can get that treatment without coming off the pitch and play continuing.
I think what John Herdman's doing here too, instead of having Jordan Heitema come off the pitch and play a man down, he's got her to go down in order for him to get a message across to Canada. If Jordan Heitema has to come off the pitch at this point in the game, it opens up Canada to a goal. So it was very smart from John. Just tell Jordan, instead of coming off the pitch, go down so I can get the message across and we're not playing a man down.
It's the final few seconds of stoppage time here at BC Place. Jordan Heitema only on the pitch for a couple of minutes. Jill Ellis not happy that the treatment is taking place in the center circle, preventing this throw from getting play back underway on the far side there. It is 1-1 at BC Place. And an entertaining evening for this packed house here in Vancouver. Jordan Heitema will be able to get straight back into the action here. This will probably be the last action of the game, though, as the US have a throw on the far side. Headed away firmly by Kelly. Out towards O'Hara. She'll look deep into the box. Alicia Chapman gets this one clear. Now it's brought down by Jessie Fleming. Leon. Referee with a check of the watch. Chapman towards halfway. Christine Sinclair flicks it on. Heitema giving chase. That will be it at BC Place. It's full time and Canada gets a draw with the United States. Alex Morgan putting the US in front in the first half, but it was tied up by substitute Adriana Leon in the second half, and a very good performance here in Vancouver from John Herdman's side.
I think Canada can be so proud of this performance. They didn't back down. They took it to the Americans all game, and they played, and that is what we haven't seen from Canada against a #1 ranked team in a really long time. So hats off to the Canadians. They can be very proud of this performance.
Let's head pitch side. Karina, what did you think of that from Canada tonight?
It was a good performance. John was happy with the performance. You could tell from the coaching staff shaking hands, giving high fives. The players are giving high fives. I think everybody's happy with the performance. The crowd is happy with the performance, and I think it's a good result here for Canada tonight.
They will do it all again in San Jose on Sunday, but for now, it's not the win Canada wanted. But they do put in a very good performance and get a draw against the #1 ranked team in the world, as Adriana Leon managed to score just after halftime after Sinclair created it. It finishes 1-1 in Vancouver.